1.
Okay, sign it into this. Hey guys, Brooke and Laura here today for Lawyering Outside the Lines. Sorry, I'm doing something over here. I got to laughing before this and then
I live near, while Brooke's getting that up, I live near the zoo in Little Rock, and I can hear the monkeys. And I was maybe imitating some monkey noises before.
Imitating some monkey noises. And I had like a fight with a stick this weekend, so my mouth hurts and I can't really laugh. But anyways, it was painful. I've got it together now. Pulled myself together. So welcome to Lawyering Outside the Lines. Today, we're talking about Zoom. Before all the coronavirus stuff happened, there was a Gallup study that reported about 43% of U.S. employees worked remotely with some level of frequency. I know this because the Arkansas Bar Association is actually doing some free webinars, and I dove into Zoom last week and thought this is really awesome, and it got a really good response. So we wanted to kind of share some of the takeaways from that with you guys. That was a 45-minute webinar, so we're not going into that. But specifically because I'd be willing to bet that the number is lower among attorneys and individuals employed in the legal profession as far as people who work remotely. We have been completely virtual for over 5 years now, and there has been plenty of skepticism about the ability to actually adequately work remotely as a legal professional, whether that's with your team or with clients. However, now that we have been forced to work from home, millions more U.S. employees are having to kind of navigate working from home, including attorneys, which includes participating in a lot of virtual meetings. And so there's several different platforms that offer video conferencing, but by far the most popular is probably Zoom. So we're going to share some tips and tricks for conducting meetings on the Zoom platform.
And I'm sure that a lot of you have seen some, memes or stories about attorneys showing up for virtual hearings in certain ways, in certain various clothing or non-clothing or in bed or out of bed. So we're going to just, these tips and tricks, you'd think that they would be common sense, but apparently they're not, because we've seen the evidence that they're not with a lot of people. So tip number 1, get out of bed. Don't take a Zoom meeting, which is a video meeting, from your bed. Number 2 is groom yourself. I don't always have makeup on or things like that when I'm taking a Zoom call, but I do try to not be in like my, like head wrap and face mask on and that kind of thing. So make sure that you've groomed yourself for the day. Wear appropriate attire, including pants and shirt. Now, if you're not going to actually be in the lower half of you, that's fine. But at the same time, what if you accidentally stand up? What if the computer drops or your phone drops? Just keep these things in mind. People can see you. And this is especially important for more formal meetings like court hearings. And, kind of what I mentioned was the Broward County issues that they've had there. Brooke, I don't know if you want to say anything about that, like specifically.
Oh, no. They had talked about, I read an article and they were talking about how, they had moved over to having virtual hearings, which I think a lot of places are trying to do that. And reporting back, like one lady was like in her bed completely under the covers, one of the attorneys. And yeah, there were people without pants. There were people that are just showing up in regular, like, it's fine. I'm in a t-shirt right now talking to you guys, but these people were totally not dressed appropriate for court. So just because you're at home doesn't mean you're relieved of all those things.
Exactly. Like the woman who was at the pool wearing her pool cover up, all that kind of fun stuff. So, just keep in mind, this is still your profession. This is still your job. So, be appropriately dressed for whatever the event is that you're attending this video conference for. Number 4 is be considerate of people's time. That's a big one. If you're the one who's hosting a meeting and you've set it for an hour, make sure that you stick to that hour. Same thing for people who want to make comments and things like that. Number 5, and this is huge for someone who's been a remote employee at a large law or at a large company, Thomson Reuters Westlaw, but also, nowadays, even it still cracks me up in 2020 that people don't know to mute themselves. If your host has not muted you, mute yourself so that we don't hear all the background noise. That could be you talking to somebody. That could be your dogs or your cats freaking out, which I think that's what Brooke's looking around to see if her cats are freaking
No, there's some random people in my backyard. Keep talking.
Yeah, that's important. Yikes. Random people in the backyard is not a good thing. So it's, muting yourself is huge. Don't go through the drive-through without muting yourself. Don't. I think there's a story about somebody, or I've seen a meme about somebody who is having a fight with his wife while on a work video conference.
Not random. I'm safe. I'm sorry. They're the yard people. I haven't yet. Continue.
Okay, good. I'm glad that nobody's going to break in. Although I will say it would be kind of perfect to find the killer if you were,
I'm going to stay live, guys. Keep an eye on it.
Exactly. We're on a live, so please identify yourselves. Tell us your social security number and your address. That's a little scary. Number 6, there's often lag, so keep that in mind and try not to talk over each other. It's the same kind of thing if multiple people are on a cell phone trying to have a conversation. Pay attention to everybody's face to see like who's maybe about to start talking, and just, take a little short pause to make sure that you're not talking over each other. Number 7 is pay attention. It's really frustrating when, and this is true with pretty much any kind of meeting, if you're not paying attention and you ask the same exact question that somebody asked 3 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. So pay attention so that you're not, wasting time by asking the same thing that has already been answered. Number 8, and this is a big one, is watch out for Zoom bombing. This is something I'd never heard of before, but because Zoom has become such a huge thing, this is a real situation that is happening all the time now, where intruders are hijacking video calls, and they, sometimes they are doing it for fun and don't do much, but sometimes they honestly post hate speech. They, share offensive images, pornography, racial slurs, that kind of thing. And Zoom bombers have disrupted things like Alcoholics Anonymous meetings in New York, Sunday school in Texas, online classes at USC, city meetings, and even a doctoral dissertation in Michigan. There's even a YouTuber that Brooke's kids told her about that regularly does this and posts about it. So it's a real thing. It's, it's not necessarily always going to be dangerous, but at the same time, it might be. And especially if you're talking to clients and things like that, you want to make sure that the privacy is protected as much as possible. So to avoid Zoom bombing, you want to password protect your meetings. Allowing access only to the people that you actually give that password for, whether it's a code or whatever it be. It's something that you don't have to do when you set up a meeting, but something that everybody should do so that you're protecting the privacy of the room for your Zoom conference. Zoom has worked really to address some of these issues and concerns, and have, as concerns have been rising. Zoom published a guide last month on how users can protect meetings, change settings, and has made security a real priority. The platform was designed to prioritize features over privacy and security. And like all of us, Zoom is pivoting in this current crisis. So, we give them props for that. And just make sure that you're aware of what your settings can be and protecting yourself and being appropriate with your Zoom meetings.
Absolutely. And I would like to point out, I did not expect to have to stand up during this live, but I am wearing pants. You see how that's important. So unexpected things happen.
When strangers show up in your backyard and you have to go to the
yes, and also I don't know if they're going to start mowing and it's going to be loud. I have no idea what's about to happen, y'all. So anyways, it's just, I don't know, like Laura says, it's week 4 million of our quarantine, and I don't know what's happening. So another thing we want to talk about is some of our favorite features of Zoom. If you're on a budget, you can keep meetings under 40 minutes. If you do that, you have up to 100 participants on for 40 minutes for free. They are mowing, yes, so for free. So to remove that time limit, you need to upgrade to the $14.99 a month plan. And if you need more than 100 participants, which probably most of you watching will not need that, you have to upgrade to an enterprise plan. But Laura and I use a few different platforms, and we have started primarily using Zoom. And so I'm going to yell. I don't know if you guys can hear, but I'm just going to keep yelling. Nope. But anyway, so you sign up. No, it's getting really loud. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So for the 40-minute free option, everybody can get that. So it, usually that's going to suffice. But if you need to go longer, it's really not a whole lot more to upgrade. Number 2, there is a beauty filter. I just found this when I was doing my research for that Zoom presentation. So you can use this to touch up your appearance. You can filter your skin tone. You can enhance your lighting. Lighting is difficult sometimes. My old office, it used to suck. Like, it was so bad, the lighting. So you can actually enhance your lighting. To use this filter and to turn it on, you click the up arrow next to the start video, and then you click video settings. And under my video, you check the box for touch up my appearance. Third, you can actually change your background to a place, scene, or even actually your logo. You want to be careful though, because it's kind of like a green screen. And so sometimes you can kind of disappear and look super weird. You can transport yourself to the beach or to space. And to change your background, you're going to go to settings and choose virtual background, select your background, and upload from there. However, you're going to need to make sure that your systems meet all the requirements to do so. I felt really left out when I first experienced this because everybody was doing it and I felt like I just couldn't figure it out. I just hadn't updated my system. You also want to use the transcription feature if you're trying to record meetings, especially if you have like somebody that is maybe taking notes but also needs to participate. There is a transcription feature. So you go to your account settings and you're going to click cloud recording. You're going to hit the recording tab. From there, you're going to go to advanced cloud recording settings. You're going to click audio transcript, and then you're going to save your settings. So once you have your transcripts, you can even search using those, using different keywords. So, and also turning on gallery view. So gallery view is my favorite because it lets you see everyone in the meeting at once instead of just the person that's speaking. And then, you know, you have the little thing up top where, you know, you always drop a couple people off if you're going back and forth. So to turn that on, you just click in the tab that says gallery view in the top right corner. And if you have 49 or fewer attendees, you'll see all of the screens displayed on one page. If there are more, you'll have, there's just right there. You'll have the option to move between multiple pages. You change it back.
We can hear it a little bit now. So
yeah, I'm looking at him. By clicking speaker view in that same top right hand corner to go back to speakers. And lastly, if you want to have a little fun with Zoom, you can actually invite a llama or a goat to your next corporate Zoom meeting or video call for under $100. I've actually thought about spending $100 just to get a goat in a meeting with me. But it's like a 10-minute appearance, so it's not going to distract you the whole time. But an animal sanctuary in Silicon Valley called Sweet Farm is letting people pay to get llamas, goats, and other farm animals to tune into their video calls for $100. So since launching the service called Goat to Meeting, appropriately, last month, Sweet Farm has fielded more than 300 requests for animal cameos and virtual field trips in work happy hours and corporate meetings. It's really funny, because it's just like everybody's face, and then there's like a llama all up in the camera in like the corner. But the co-founder had told Business Insider in the article that I read that the money made from that Goat to Meeting is kind of helping the farm recover some of the revenue that is lost because of coronavirus lockdown orders in California. So people are really getting creative, which is really exciting to kind of sustain their businesses and make sure that they can continue operations until they can reopen.
Yeah. That sounds super fun for sure. And I, even though Brooke and I are the same person half the time, I actually learned a couple new things from her Arkansas Bar Association talk from last week as well. Did not know that I could touch up my skin and all that fun stuff. Exactly. Pivot, I think you guys have heard us say, is our favorite word, which you saw a lot of today. Brooke, we were all set up. We did our Arkansas live for our consumers here with no problem whatsoever. And then she had lawn people and weed eaters right outside, like 2 feet from her. And then I could hear her kids shutting doors and things in the background too.
I don't know what they're doing. I've lost control.
I'm
present.
I think it's just the world that we're living in right now. So
I'm here. I showed up.
Exactly. Participating, yes, and doing a very, very fine job. I may anticipate a little bit of, what the hell are you doing after this is over to the kids?
How mom I am.
Yeah, she's got a great mom eye.
I do.
Just to wrap up a little bit, we feel like the pandemic has shined a light on innovation and how we can become more efficient, effective, and balanced by using technology. It's our hope here at MVL that these forced innovations will be a catalyst to move our profession forward. I think you've heard us say a lot of times that we feel like we're stuck in the sand in many aspects. So use this time to test out technologies, any kind of tech solution like Zoom, and try to implement the things that work once we resume some level of normalcy. Who knows when that will be and how it will look. But, we're kind of being forced in this situation that Brooke had the amazing idea more than five and a half years ago to start. The profession itself is being forced into a different kind of way to innovate and practice law. So, use this time to test out things and think about your options. Join us next Tuesday. Thanks for spending some time with us today. I hope you got some laughs, if nothing else, and some information.
I'm sorry. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Exactly. Join us next Tuesday at 1 Eastern, 12 Central, 11 Mountain, and 10 Pacific. And you guys have a great rest of your week.
Thanks.